So anyways, people will ask you how are you feeling today, and sometimes, to be honest, it's hard to even answer that question when you feel like crap, but you just don't know what to say to them, and it's hard. How do you explain this feeling to somebody that you can't even get your own head around? How do you explain that? It's been tough, and most people don't even know what Lyme's disease is, or what they know is very limited, and it's difficult to explain to somebody how horrible this thing can actually become. And people have this stereotype that everybody with Lyme's disease is crippled and they can't walk or they have joint problems, and you know. Aside from neck problems that I've been having, I really haven't had any uh, of those issues. Mine has been affecting my nervous system, and you know, it just affects everybody differently. But something I did want to mention on here is this documentary that I just bought, and a good friend of mine who has been through. She's actually a huge supporter of the Limes Association here in Michigan, where I'm from. And anyway, she recommended this documentary about Lyme's disease, and I have it here. The name of it is Under Our Skin, if you can see it. Um, if you want to go to their website, I will post the link at the end of the video. You can buy this movie. I think it was about $40, and they gave us a free copy because we bought it during May, which was Lyme Awareness Month. But anyways, it's a great movie. It goes into detail about like 4 or 5 different people who have Lyme's or have had it and what their story was, their treatment, and then it goes into the political nature of Lyme's disease and talks about what current treatments are, why insurance companies don't want to pay for their patients' treatment. The guidelines from the Infectious Disease Society of America, what they say, the typical treatment for Lyme's disease should be. And I mean, it's just an awesome movie that goes into details that you just kind of have to see. And it's really good if you're going through Lyme for your family members to watch and your friends to watch, because it will give them a good idea as to what you're going through. And the first time I watched it, I was actually kind of angry, and I felt kind of relieved too. Angry because this disease is not publicized, and yet it's more prevalent than HIV and West Nile virus. Um, you know, over 300,000 people a year get infected with Lyme's disease, but as little as 1 in 10 ever get a correct diagnosis. People get diagnosed with MS, fibromyalgia, lupus, um, anxiety disorders, hosts of psych, psychiatric disorders, chronic fatigue, you name it. And these people, they just never get a diagnosis. And, you look at the case of AIDS, 30,000, 40,000 cases of AIDS in this country. And, in no way am I meaning to demean that, but my point is if there was as much awareness about Lyme's disease as there were about some of these other diseases, I would have to imagine there would be better treatments for people. And that's something that I'm trying to get out there and make people aware that this is an epidemic in our country, not just in the East Coast, but it's in every state in America, on every continent, and it's just becoming something we can't ignore anymore. The fact that only 20,000 or so cases were reported to the CDC last year, and possibly well over 300,000 people were infected, just goes to show you how much is wrong in our health system that we can't diagnose these people. I went and had to see 15 doctors before I could get a diagnosis, and um, in fact, after I got my diagnosis, I sent my reports back to some of the doctors I had seen, and they were just like, well, these tests aren't 100% accurate, and you don't have Lyme or whatever. And it's frustrating. And it's frustrating when you know something is wrong with your body and you know that you're not making it up. But the problem is, these doctors drill into your head for so long that um, there's nothing wrong with you. Once you finally get that diagnosis, you don't even know if you should believe it, because it seems like finally someone takes you seriously, but, you know, is it real? And I honestly went a while without actually accepting the fact that I had Lyme disease, and I'm just starting to come to terms with the fact that I do. And having so many people say it's stress, or for the first time in your life you're realizing that you're not mortal. That's what one of the doctors said to me. He says that's making you realize you've had some stressful times, and so now you realize that you're not invincible, and you know you're having a hard time coming to grips with that reality. So after going through that for long enough, you just sort of start to discredit doctors in general. And one thing I'm learning is that you absolutely have to be your own advocate. If you're not, doctors will walk all over you. They will give you prescription after prescription after prescription to cover up your symptoms and get you out of their office. They don't want to hear Lyme's disease. They don't know about Lyme's disease. Um, at one point, I was in the urgent care and having the worst panic attack I've ever had, telling them something was wrong. And this just happened to be after I took my first dose of antibiotics for the Lyme urine antigen test that I had to do. The first night I took these antibiotics, it sent me into a major reaction, killing off Lyme. And I told the urgent care doctor that either I'm having a reaction to the antibiotics, allergic reaction, or I'm killing these bacteria off so quickly, it's just making me go crazy. And I said, I think I have Lyme's disease. I'm being tested for it. I'm just not sure yet. And he goes, "Oh, Lyme disease, that's the one from the tick." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, well, I'm not really sure what the literature says about that. I don't really think you could feel any worse going on medication to treat it. But, if that's something you think is possible, then yeah, you should definitely check that out." And it's like, you're the doctor, you're the one who's supposed to be um, checking these things out for me. But I'm learning you got to be your own advocate, because, they just want to get you in and out, especially in the emergency room. And you kind of have to be pushy, and I'm learning you gotta ask the questions. You gotta pin them down, and if the doctors don't want to give you um, the answers that you're looking for, then you gotta move on. And I've had doctors tell me that I'm just looking for a diagnosis, that once I get the diagnosis, all my symptoms are going to go away, or, I'm just a hypochondriac and I'm imagining all this. And don't let anybody tell you that that's what's going on with you, because you're the best judge of your body. You know what's going on in your body, and you know when something's wrong. And don't let up. If you get diagnosed with MS or fibromyalgia or any of those diseases that I talked about, I would recommend that you just ask to get a Lyme's test, or find a doctor that will test you, just because so many people get falsely diagnosed with that and they still stay sick, and for a lot longer than they have to. So, anyways, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I'll post the link for that video if anybody's interested, and I'm hoping to feel better soon, make another video. I want to go into details about the supplements I'm on, so that may be able to help some of you guys. If you guys have any questions, just shoot me a message. I'd be more than happy to help you out, and I'll talk to you guys soon.